Kicking in here with Walmart. Get wet. Walmart, hit the blunt. Yeah. Yeah, ain't fucking with it. Man, it's raining hard, the motherfucker. Thunder, lightning, all the shit. Kicking it with Walmart. Your homie. Shout out to all my subscribers, man. I've been feeling y'all desire for stories, man. So, I had to start a push and I had to get back to it, man. Cause y'all been forgetting this story right here, man. But yeah. So anyhow, I'm a kid, right? I still say I'm a kid because I'm like 18 and a half, maybe 20. I ain't already done some shit on this yard too. It's B yard. This is where people say, like, he made his bones. I made my bones on B yard in Salinas Valley. I done already punched out Garfield. I done punched out the OG that played me. And then and I done pushed up with knife play and all type of altercations, right? So they know me. They like Dirty is Dangerous because he don't give a fuck. So anyhow, my grandma, right? Rest her soul. My grandma, Miss Ramsey. And I'm gonna tell you about my grandma. My grandma was a school teacher for like 50-something years. I don't even know. But she was been a school teacher for as long as I know. She was a school teacher and a counselor. She didn't work at all the schools. Not all the schools, but hella schools in Sacramento, from elementary on up to high school. My grandma was a teacher when she died. My grandma had to go to work the day she died. She would have been getting up, going to work. That's how my grandma was. And she touched a lot of people. So when we talk about like celebrities, to me, my grandma was a celebrity. I'm gonna be honest. My grandma was a celebrity. Because everywhere we went in Sacramento, somebody knew her. They was hugging, everywhere we looked, they was hugging my grandma. Like, I'd be like, Grandma, who that? I'd be like, we called her Dear, Grandma Dear. Dear, who is that? She'd be like, oh, that's some, I taught her when she was a kid. This woman like 30 years old. I taught her when I was a kid, when she was a kid. And so I realized, like, at a certain point, like, my grandma was a celebrity. Like, everybody know her. She touched a lot of people and their kids. So when I got locked up, I know it hurt her. A lot. But anyhow. So anyway, I'm on the yard, right? And it's a homie. The homie's name X-Man, right? This motherfucker X-Man, he about like, I'm a teenager still, so he like damn near like 30-something, about to be 40. But I didn't look at my grandma where like she was a sex symbol, but at the same time, because my grandma was a fox when she was young. I seen some pictures of her later in life. My grandma was bad. So now she's older. I couldn't picture somebody lusting on my grandma like that. So anyhow, X-Man get at me. He like, because my grandma was sick. He said, I want to write her a letter. I'm like, all right, it's good. Because, he was a student of hers. X-Man was a student of hers. And then, so I didn't think nothing of it. And he was the older homie from the hood. So I give him the address, right? About like a couple of weeks go by. He had told me he wrote her and sent her a card. That was it. I'm just doing my normal Dougie, right? Then one day, about 2 weeks later, one night, I call my grandma, like right before we was going to chow. Picture this. So it's like 3 o'clock, 3:30. It's about to be count time at 4 o'clock. And then as soon as count clears, we the first ones to go to chow. So I get on my phone get my phone call, because you can get early phone call or late. I had it early. Bam. I called my grandma because she always accept my call. Grandma always accept my call. And she was like, Curtis, tell Freddie Thornton to stop writing me them sexual letters. It was like ball drop. I don't even know. Man, look, that surge of adrenaline was like, boom. You did what? And I had to compose myself. I'm talking about in all a matter of like 3 seconds. I was like, oh. and came down and was like, I was like, just because y'all know I'm sick. But all in that moment when I swelled up, I had to decompress. I said, dear, don't worry about nothing. He won't be writing you no more letters. Huh. Don't worry. He not going to be writing you no more letters like that. I got you. Man, look, and my grandma, she raised gangsters. I ain't gonna lie. Even though like half of the men in my family, matter of fact, 75% of the men in my family been in prison, and that's a sad fact. But she been around some gangster shit, cause my uncles and older cousins wasn't no joke. So she know. When she tell him to stop writing me these letters, she know Grandma knew I wasn't gonna be doing no playing. So so the older homies, D Hunt, Wardell, they in the vent upstairs. Like it's 2 tiers. They on upstairs. They in 210. I'm in 110. But we share the same vent. So I get in the vent. D Hunt. I said, hey, man, I'm about to beat Freddie Thornton ass. It was like, what happened? I said, man, this motherfucker wrote my grandma some sexual letters. They said, what? They said, man, what you gonna do? I said, I'm about to beat him up. They said, don't touch him. But then D Hunt, I heard D Hunt like he stepped away from the vent, right? He thought he was slick. He stepped away from the vent and sat down. He said, boy, if a motherfucker write anime, I said, I heard that, nigga. I heard that. Yeah, I'm about to get on this nigga. Look, man, my celly was like, this is why y'all, when I be talking about the emotional ass celly I had, this is why I kind of tolerated it, because we was bonded by, we already then got on, well, he was supposed to go with me when I got on the OG, but he ended up doing, I handled my own wax. But we was bonded by 2 violent motherfuckers. That's how we was known. So I tell my celly, like, this is what I'm about to do. I'm about to get that nigga as soon as I see him coming to chow or whatever, right? Because he in the next building over, so I'm most likely gonna see him because he got medication. Remember, Freddie Thornton's health wasn't too good his goddamn self, but at the same time, that's my grandma dear. So, man, next thing you know, we walking to chow. Me and emotional ass Sally, we walking to chow, right? And I spot him. Oh, he in the chow hall already. So I go get my tray, right? I sit down for a minute. Then when he get up and go out the chow hall, I dip behind him, right? So when I get behind him, next thing you know, it's called the drop and shot. The drop and shot. What is the drop and shot? The drop and shot is, you don't see the motherfucker coming from behind you. And there's a lot of people being killed by this drop and shot, to be real. It's a lot of people. That's why it has a name. When you come up behind somebody, you wrap them. Bam! You wrap them by right here. Come behind them and wrap them. Because that way you can't do nothing. My celly came from behind him. When my celly grabbed him, I 2-pieced him. Bing, bing, bing. Well, actually, a 3-piece, because he was already asleep, though, to be honest with you. When I hit him, right, my celly had him. He went to sleep in my celly arms. He went to sleep in my celly arms, right? My celly looked around. Bam, he looked around and seen I was halfway around the track. I done knocked him out. I done did my thing. Boop, boop, boop. Now I'm gone. I'm halfway around the track. My celly like holding him, but he like, oh shit, this nigga gone. So he lean him up against the wall and do it moving too. The other homie who I ended up catching the attempted murder on. The other homie, this one was cool. Man, it happened so fast, he didn't even know who did the homie in, because we all from the heights. We all from the heights. So he seen him, he said, he thought the Mexicans had got on him. He was like, man, what the fuck happened to the homie? What the fuck happened to the homie? Who did that shit? And the homie sleep up against the wall, he go. So, oh man, it's hella bad. I'm like, look at my food. It's hella bad. It's so bad I can't even go back to the car. Once the blood goes on. You hear it. That motherfucker sound like, oh shit, half my body is wet. But we out here, Georgia, hurricane weather, me and Walmart. Those two fingers, Walmart. Peace sign. Go.